Jack Frost and the Hooded Crow.
Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey.
It's your president and your VP, and we're back with another installment of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Wait a second. I got something for us, Dad. Go ahead and do this, but we forgot something.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's grabbing something real quick. So today's special, or today's episode, if you will, is in fact Jack Frost, which premiered December 13th, 1979 on NBC. And it has the voice talents of Buddy Hackett, Robert Morse, Deborah Klinger, Paul Frees in a dual role, and Don Messick.
Why does it sound familiar?
Could be because of this.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
So, Jack Frost is a stop motion. Here, let me put this on real quick. Is a stop motion and a holiday special, and it's about the titular character, Jack Frost. Now, most of you guys, if you don't know, Jack Frost is an imaginary creature of winter that basically is responsible, at least in mythology anyways, is responsible basically for the winter wind that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jack and his friends, they live in this kingdom in the sky.
Kingdom of the Winter Clouds.
Yeah, called the Kingdom of the Winter Clouds. And they only appear during wintertime because, as it turns out, nature basically tells them, hey, y'all can play around with winter, but when I give you the signal, you're going to have to skedaddle on out of here. Now, what's the signal, you ask? Well, we're going to get to that. So, as it turns out, that Jack, like I said, he's having a good old time with his winter shenanigans. And it turns out that Jack has a friend who, in fact, cuts and snips every single snowflake that falls to the ground.
There's also this guy who produces hail. And I only have one thing to say about him. Screw that guy. You always damage our cars.
Yeah, apparently he makes the hailstones. It's governed by Jack's father, who is Father Winter. And there's this little bitty winter princess doll. And her name is Holly. And Jack is, like I said, he's having a great time, right? And it turns out that they live, that this story takes place in this fictional town called January Junction. Now, January Junction is probably in northern Scandinavia, probably Finland or northern Russia, because there's a bad guy. Surprise, surprise. The bad guy is Kubla Kraus. Now, Kubla Kraus, of course, he's not as evil as this guy.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty evil.
We're going to get to him after a while. So, Kubla Kraus, though, is pretty evil. It's basically feudal Russia or medieval Finland, because Kubla Kraus, he owns the property, he owns the Iron Castle, he owns the entire town, he owns the people attached to the property because, like I said, it's feudal Russia, so it's serfdom. So they have no money, the townspeople. So they have to depend on winter, because when winter comes, they can make ice coins. Now, that doesn't really help them when it melts, but throughout winter, they've at least got a currency, because if they didn't have it, then if they had any money, Kubla Kraus, kind of like Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham and the, Prince John, that whole tale there, kind of like that they have no money. So there's this older couple, and just called Mama and Papa, and they have this daughter. And the daughter is like really super in love with Jack Frost. Like super in love with Jack Frost. Only problem is Jack Frost is imaginary. So Jack Frost is like, you know what? I love her too. I'm going to go see my father in the kingdom of the winter clouds. And I'm going to tell him, hey, Father Winter, yo, I want to be a human. And he's like, well, that's kind of impossible, Jack, but I can do it. But here's the thing. If you decide that you want to become a human full time, you got to have a bag of money. You got to have a house. You got to have a wife. And you got to have a horse.
Mm-hmm.
So he becomes human. And he's immediately klutzy. Like, he can't stand up and he falls down. But conveniently, as he falls from the sky, lo and behold, he falls right next to the woman that has the crush on him. I know, right? Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, the woman, the girl who in fact has a crush on Jack Frost, meets a full-fledged knight who could possibly actually take on Kubla Kraus. Jack and his friends are
But before that, Jack, his friends, the girl and her family all go to the mountain in which Kubla Kraus is looking at him through a telescope. He's laughing at Jack, but then his eyes get set on the girl. And so he's like, yo, I'm going to make her my bride.
Yeah, and
I'm going to woo her. And there's nothing that this talking robot can say. And he like chucks it out of the way.
because the talking robot is actually a puppet that Kubla Kraus does as his own voice. Horribly, I might add.
Sorry.
And his horse is also iron, and it has this claw that is a crane attached to the horse. Because at one point, he picks up the old man by the crane and shakes him like a bowl of jelly in order to squeeze the 1/100th of a cent that this man has.
Yep.
And so,
Like I said, he's pretty evil. But
Yeah.
still not as evil as this guy.
yeah, still not as evil as that guy. But
Yeah, he's pretty evil, gotta say.
he is. Okay. So, anyways, guys, so Jack is like, okay, I'm gonna go help him, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. The knight comes in, and the knight gets a bonk on the head because he is kind of useless too. Actually, it's only by luck that they defeat him, and we're about to get to that because Jack, he realizes that he needs to rescue the princess. Only him and his friends actually get captured. I should point out that the tailor who does the snowflakes, yeah, he was made human and sent to Earth too, as was the little tiny Holly Princess Winter doll thingy, Gypsy. She was turned human by Father Winter too. So they were kind of there to help him. And he had been brought home by the older couple, and he was fed. And he's like, basically he gets captured, but then he's able to get away from Kubla Kraus because the winter starts to melt. And so the rotting wood falls on top of Kubla Kraus. Kubla Kraus essentially sleeps with the fishes, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. And so Jack Frost, though, he has to prolong the winter because he didn't have enough time to get what needed to be done. And he was only going to be human till spring. And this is when Father Winter tells him, hey, I'm kind of tied by nature here.
But Mother Nature.
Mother Nature tells us it's time to skedaddle on out of here. We do that. She gives us a specific sign. The specific sign is that a ground-dwelling mammal will come up out of the ground, a groundhog. He will see his shadow, and if he sees his shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. Now, guys, I got to tell you this, though, okay? From February 2nd to March 21st or March 20th, whichever is the official
I think
start
it's March
of spring.
21st is the spring equinox.
But that time frame is, well, you guessed it,
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So there's that. So Jack strikes a deal with this groundhog because basically the groundhog doesn't see his shadow, but instead Jack divorces himself from his own shadow and commands his shadow to kick the groundhog in the keister. And the groundhog's like, yeah, I was so happy about the extra shut eye. I just keep letting them frighten me. What? So, yeah. So that's Jack Frost, guys. It's a pretty good stop motion animation special. It was done by Rankin Bass, who are the same people behind Frosty the Snowman. They're the same people behind
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The whole shebang. All of the claymation specials that you guys might have seen when you were a child, that's all Rankin Bass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jack Frost here, they actually did an incredible amount of detail for the miniatures and the ice and even the water as it's freezing. I'm not sure. They have this thing they use this animation technique called Animagic. I don't know exactly what that is, but it works very well for this. So, final rating though, let's see. 3.5 out of 5. What say you?
Also 3.5 out of 5.
It's a fairly decent holiday film, holiday special, but one thing that does drag it down quite a bit, in my opinion, there's too much songs. Once again, we have a special, and I get it, but once again, we have a special that is non-stop, just fluff pieces disguised as musical numbers. So, with that being said, though, guys, check it out. It's available on Tubi. You can find it on VHS, DVD. There's a Blu-ray release of it as well. It's in this monster collection of all the animation, stop motion, Rankin Bass stuff. There's a whole series collection out there of it.
Walmart has it for $50.
However, if you have seen Jack Frost and you believe that it is the worst Christmas special of all time, then clearly you have not seen
The Rap City Street Kids Believe in Santa Claus. The animation is so cursed.
which I haven't even seen that. So, yeah. But with that, guys,
They will stare into your soul.
we'll see you guys next time where it's going to be Scooby-Doo Haunted Holidays. Which will be a real quick one, probably, because it's only 22 minutes. So, with that being said, though, guys, there's only one thing left to say, and that is
Peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.